Hello everyone and welcome to PBI Spotlight. I'm Kanishka Ramchandani, the editor of Professional Beauty India, and for this episode of PBI Spotlight, I have with me an amazing guest. She is a known name in the beauty circles and a great coach. I am very honored to present to you Manisha Chopra, international makeup and beauty coach and founder of Seasoul and Cosmetics. Hi Manisha, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Okay, so as you know, in PBI Spotlight, we bring the spotlight on to some of the best experts in the industry, and you have been around for so many years that I'm sure you've soaked in everything that there is to know about beauty in this industry. So let's get started with how your journey began in beauty.
So this is a really interesting question because I'm an engineer turned makeup expert and then turned entrepreneur.
How did you engineer this?
So basically I come from a background where my mother was a makeup artist when I was a child. Okay, she had her own parlor, and a very famous one. But somewhere I'm born in a family where my dad never believed that this is something I should pursue. Okay. So the only three options I was given was either I could be a doctor, engineer, or an IAS officer.
Right.
I said, "ये खून वून मुझसे देखा नहीं जाता है." Doctor is out of the story, and IAS officer like politics too much, can't handle it. And I was good in maths, so I was like, "ठीक है, engineering थोड़ा simple है." So that's how I ended up becoming an engineer.
Okay.
But because my mom was into the field, somewhere it was like embedded. You can say that I was born with a blood where, I kind of knew that this is something I'm good at. And it was just embedded into me since childhood. So mama ghar pe humse waxing karati thi, facials karati thi, and you would see her doing makeups and all that, So that's how I'd grown up. So somewhere it was in me, but it was never encouraged.
Okay.
So, but then after, my engineering, that's where I met my better half.
Yeah.
And so got married and we moved to Australia. So when I was in Australia, I was working with a corporate over there, being an engineer. So and I had this friend of mine who was sitting he used to sit next to me, and she was a Malayan girl getting married to the most eligible bachelor of, the Indian, this thing over there. And so she asked me if I could do her wedding henna because I had apparently won, I was Miss Delhi in 2001 and I'd also won the national award for doing henna, like the mehendi in India.
Right.
So I wasn't publicizing it anyway because I'm in a corporate job and all that. So she asked me, it's like, can you do my wedding henna? She's a friend sitting next to me. I was like, yeah, sure, why not? So while I was doing her henna, she got a call from her makeup artist saying that she's met an accident and she can't turn up.
Okay.
And she's crying, holding that pair of saris, like how and what to how to even wear this piece.
Yes.
So just out of, my concern for my friend, I said, okay, don't worry. I think I can help. So till the time, I never realized that I was so good at it. So what I did with her technically went viral for me. In her wedding, I still remember there were people coming and telling me, they canceled their current makeup artist and they started, they're like, can you do weddings from us and all that? And that was like a newfound world for me, and I was enjoying that so much because my corporate job was a very monotonous, a job like being an engineer. You can imagine I was into IT sector.
Yeah.
But this is somewhere you're meeting new people every time. Everyone has a new story to tell and being part of someone's big day. And that's where I started to learn it and, get into the whole thing. So then I told my husband's like, okay, if you really enjoy it, why don't you actually learn it properly? You're just doing what you know.
Yeah.
So that's how I found out, just Googled who's Australia's #1 makeup artist. Her name is Ray Morris. Okay, and she's the makeup artist, I would say the best one for the last 3 decades in Australia.
Okay.
So I decided, okay, I want to do a class with her. So I went to do a workshop with her in a group of 100. We were 100 people in the room. She was like, you come and assist me. Like, okay, I'm sorted. So that's how I started to do volunteer work with her.
Okay.
And taking my actually corporate job as part-time because I was so serious about it. I was enjoying myself completely.
Yeah.
And that's how slowly and gradually the whole thing started, as a makeup artist for the journey. And I still remember it was 15th of May, 2011 when I told my best friend. So we were driving through a path like where she I just told her, I said, you know what, one day I will have my own makeup line. And little that I know, the very next year in 2012, we launched Seasoul, which is our skincare line.
Yeah.
And 3 years later, the makeup line was born. So yeah, it's like something I think I manifested, and rest is history now. So yeah.
Totally. It seems like your destiny found you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
this is what you were destined to do. This is an amazing story, and I'm really glad that I asked you this question and you shared this whole story with me. So, when did you come back to India?
I came back in 2012.
Okay, when the makeup line was launched.
Yeah, so basically, okay, this is another story there. So my daughter, I have got 2 kids. So my daughter is the younger one, who's born in 2010 December, which is towards the end.
Right.
And she was a child who was born with, so I had this thought somewhere when I was pregnant with her that, you know, if I have to do something big, I have to go back to my country.
Yeah.
You know, I want to live in Australia for the rest of my life. And and so I was meeting so many people every now and then, right? This was one thought which used to really trouble my heart, because no matter how much money they had, but you know, it was like there was a culture of kids not staying with their parents. Parents might have lavish bungalows, but kids would be staying in a 2-bedroom or 1-bedroom apartment in the next lane.
Yeah.
And somewhere that used to break my heart, like, why not with your parents? But that's a culture over there.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's not what I want to bring my kids into. And then at the same time, I knew that, you know, India is a market which is a developing country, and we have a lot of potential over here.
Yes.
So there was some thoughts which had started to develop in my brain when I got pregnant with her. But then this child was born with asthma. So she doesn't have asthma, technically asthmatic. So she was allergic to pollens in air. So we were in Sydney for all this time. So that was in the place where she could stay. So we had to bring her back to India. So it was like, okay, nothing better. And we thought, like, let's try this. So I think it was all destined for us to come back. And yeah, that's how it all. I was welcomed with open arms in every step of my life that I took, because I think I was quite confident about what I'm doing. So yeah.
That's fantastic. So it's been more than a decade that
Yeah.
Seasoul has been in the market. So how do you think the market has evolved in the last 10 years or so?
Okay, so that's a wonderful question. I would say I have seen an amazing gap which has been getting filled today. When I came 10, 12 years ago, you know, when I used to tell about Seasoul being free from harmful chemicals, being free from any kind of, parabens, sulfates, phosphates, people used to really think that I'm an alien.
Yeah.
You know, they would like, how can you have a fairness cream or a fairness facial without a hydroquinone? I was like, it's possible. Our mother nature, our earth has so much to offer, which we as people just don't realize.
Yeah.
You know, so it is possible. And because I'd lived in a Western country, which was like, you know, at least a decade ahead, so I was able to bring back those concepts. It took a long time for India to accept it. So I can say proudly that I was one of the first ones to bring that in the country, this concept. But today, I mean, after COVID, I think the market has changed a lot. I mean, people have started to read a lot. People have started to get aware about the products. They just don't randomly go and use things. So yes, I mean, there's a lot of acceptance. There's a lot of, knowledge that's been given out there. There's a lot of education, awareness that's been created, that it's high time that we start saying no to chemicals.
Right.
And results are still, achievable without chemicals. So
Absolutely.
yes.
And I think there's also a lot of acceptance to Indian brands, which
That's
was
true.
not present earlier.
Absolutely.
Earlier, everyone wanted brands coming from Paris or US, and
Yes.
now the more Indian, the better it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, that's again, I would say, because I was moving from Australia to India. It was very easy for me to bring the distributorship of any brand.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
And I was offered, when it came to makeup, I was offered by many companies to take the distributorship of their brand. But me, as my own ethics and the makeup artist in me, or the person in me, was like, Indian skin is very different. Indian skin tones are very different. We are, I somewhere take pride in saying that we are one of the most beautiful women in the world.
We definitely are.
Yeah,
I
Desi
totally
girls.
agree with you on that.
Yes, they have to be treated differently.
Yeah.
And at the same time, our skin's little more thicker than the skins of the Westerners.
Yeah.
So keeping all those things in mind, it was very, very, very important that, bring some kind of technology, bring some kind of high-end ingredients and, formulations which could serve Indian Indian skin in the best possible way to achieve results that they are looking forward to. Or even in the makeup, the color tones that we work with.
Yes.
You know, the colors in many brands, they don't work for us. And that's what people don't understand. And I mean, in a way, India is blessed with the most lightest skin tones to the most, you know, beautiful wheatish complexions.
Yeah.
And I always say the more dusky you are, the more beautiful you are. So, you know, I mean, and they have to be treated differently. They have to be catered differently. You can't have the same, you know, products. So yes, that's why an Indian brand which could create wonders for the Indian beautiful women out here.
That's fantastic. So after creating brands, after learning so much, after practicing so much, you are into teaching.
Yes.
And you have a collaboration with Success Gyan.
Yes.
So tell us more about it.
Okay, so, you know, I mean, a person in me, doing makeup is one side of the story, but I had been through a phase where I'd gone through a dark phase in my life. So long story short, getting a job as an engineer in Australia wasn't an easy thing. I even worked as a waitress to start with. Okay, so when I did these, you know, jobs which were not in my field, there was a lot of personal confidence going down. I had put on weight, I got PCOS, you know, the polycystic ovaries and all that. And with that, even that Miss Delhi from 2001 had started to lose that confidence in a very, very big way.
Yeah.
You know, so at that moment, I was one person who would go to different makeup shops, pick up the most expensive makeup products and think some wonder's gonna happen when I'll apply that makeup on my face, you know, to get my confidence back and to be able to match to my peers. But technically, nothing was happening. You know, that's when Ray Morris actually also came into play. And that's where I think I somewhere promised myself that this is something I want to do for the women out there. Because when I learned from Ray, not only it gave me the confidence to look and feel my best, but it was a feeling of that I can win the world. I can be anything. I can be what I want.
Yeah.
And you know, I come from a joint family and I see a lot of women going through the same bit. I was no different going through that. But yes, I had the courage and the right opportunities to fight it. And that's why that was my mission, the place I was. I don't want anyone else to be. Because apart from running my brands, if I'm able to give a little bit of confidence to you, you know, as a person to be your best, you know, I've done my job. And that's where exactly Success Gyan comes in the picture, because Success Gyan is India's largest brand when it comes to motivational coaching and getting you right. So I was really, really lucky that I am one of their 10 trainers, and they offered this position with them, and I'm able to serve women, you know, looking and feeling their best, not only as a person, inner and outer together. So it's both, because I always say, no matter how much layers of makeup you put in, unless and until you're feeling good from inside, it's just not gonna happen. And same way, no matter how beautiful you are from inside, if your outer is not done properly, you know, you will lack that confidence. So it has to be. So that's what I do. I mean, I would teach on skin, makeup, hair, outfits, everything, basically at the same time working on your inner personality along with the outer, putting you all together as a confident woman. So yeah.
It's a very holistic approach.
Yes.
Fantastic. So as far as I understand, Success Gyan is digital learning, right?
Yes.
So how do you manage to teach all this digitally?
Okay, so Success Gyan, it's not only digital, they are also have their offline events. So they have both online and offline, but the beautiful thing that they have created, the way it's been created online, is amazing, because no matter where you sit in the world, you know, you can just switch on your laptop or phone and you can learn. That's the best part. Right. And the way, I mean, initially when I was approached for something like this, I was like, even I had that face, I was like, how is it possible to teach someone makeup online?
Yeah.
You know, but I believe COVID has made things really easy for us that way. You know, I had held classes online, and I taught more than 500 women, along with some other amazing names in the industry, where we held classes. So people, and that's where I got that confidence that yes, it is possible. You know, yes, it needs some extra work, but I today think it's even better than going to a physical class. There are a couple of reasons why. Number one, you don't have to travel all the way. You're not wasting your travel time. Number two, if the person is in a different city or country, you can still sit and learn from your own environment, in your most simplest possible way.
Yes.
And number three is that, when you're in a physical class, usually you're not allowed to take pictures, you're not allowed to take videos, you just see your teacher from a distance. But the way we create the course, you can actually see very closely how it's done, and then you're handheld through the process with multiple live sessions and recorded sessions. So it's all about the way you design it. And we've been working with almost 500 to 1,000 women per month, and everyone's finding it super amazing. So
So how do you take care of the practice bit?
So practice bits again happen online.
Okay.
So we have like in-house coaches where you would actually sign up, and then what would happen is that once you're in the live session, she will perform something for you, and then you do it alongside, and she will watch. Okay. And then she will guide you on how it's done, and if there's something not right and all that. So
that's very interesting. So you have basically devised the entire curriculum for
absolutely.
This
It's a very, very specific curriculum, because so we run two kind of programs. One is for the aspirational makeup artists, because they need to understand right from the skin and makeup perspective and the product perspective. That's what we do. And then one is for anyone and everyone who just wants to look and feel their best. So that's where we cover skincare, how to take care of your skin, how to delay the signs of aging, taking care of your acne, pigmentation, wrinkles, all that stuff. At the same time, understanding skin in depth, like how to even choose the right products. Don't waste your money on the products. Then even makeup. We would cover makeup looks that would work for anyone and everyone. Apart from that, hair care. A lot of women have problems with happening hair fall or frizzy hair, baldness, all that stuff. Then hairstyling, even how to dress up as per your body shape. So pretty much it's like a full-on package that what you think you need, it's there.
Great. This is like you've really done some in-depth study to figure out what all would be needed in grooming and provided them. So amazing. I will definitely look up that course. I'm aware of Success Gan. In fact, I had even signed up a couple of courses for their marketing and stuff, but this is completely new, and I'm very much interested in this. So as a teacher, as a coach, as a makeup artist, and a brand owner, one thing that you're constantly on a lookout for are trends and techniques, like whatever is new, what innovative stuff is evolving. So tell us what is new.
Okay, so when we talk about the trends, yes, trends change every 6 months. But at the same time, when it comes to trends, does not mean that every trend is meant for you.
True.
That's where people go wrong. And if I have to talk about makeup, gone are those days where people would, you would like layered makeup, because the cameras that we work with today are high definition cameras. Cameras can technically record every bit of it. It can show the layers of makeup on your face. So the latest trend is going powderless with your makeup, and at the same time going Korean glass skin makeup is very in, having a skin like glass, minimalistic looks, and going more sun-kissed way with the Korean glass, so that it looks more, I would say it's another version of natural beauty. So that's what is really in these days.
Great. Where do you see yourself, say, 5 years down the line?
Wow, that's a wonderful question to ask. So 5 years down the line, if I talk makeup expert or a makeup coach, definitely training lakhs and lakhs of women, going only bigger, because that's the mission I'm on, and I'm ready to support and be able to create more confident women out there, because this decade is meant for women. This is for us, and all they need is a little bit more hand holding and to feel confident, because it is like there was a time when beauty was seen, beauty was considered as a taboo. People used to think beauty is expensive, or if you're doing makeup, or if you're taking care of yourself, oh, she's a villain, and that kind of bitchy looks were always comments were passed to the women. But gone are those times. People have started to realize how important it is to look after yourself, because until you are not happy, you can't fill the cup for other people. So definitely from the coaching perspective, that's where I'm looking myself at. From Seasoul as an entrepreneur, from Seasoul and Kerosol perspective, definitely many more formulations. Right now we are bigger in India, but in 5 years down the line, definitely going global. So yeah, that's where we are looking ourselves.
Great, and wish you all the best for that.
Thank you.
Finally, what advice would you like to give to aspiring makeup artists?
Okay, that's a very good question, and thank you so much for asking that. If you are a aspiring makeup artist, please use your brains. Do not just go by what is being taught to you. Start thinking about makeup as a tool. Okay, makeup is not about the brands that you're using. Makeup is not about the makeup artist that you're learning from. It is about beautifying the person who's sitting on your hot seat, because she is someone who's trusting you with her big day. So please do not copy paste the looks that you have for other people. For everyone, do not copy paste. Very, very important thing. Just understand the person who's on your hot seat. What does she want? What does she like? And do something which is customized for her, because that's the way it has to be.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for answering all my questions in
Thank
great
you.
detail. But before we leave you,
Yeah.
we have a quick rapid fire round.
Sure.
Yeah?
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
All right. Your favorite go-to makeup product?
Lipstick.
Your favorite celebrity for beauty inspiration?
Priyanka Chopra any day.
Your current favorite beauty trend?
Glass skin.
Any hidden talent outside of the beauty industry that we should be aware of?
I'm an artist. I paint and I bake. I do, any cake that's made for my kids' birthday since they are born for the last 15 years, it's all me. So yeah, I'm a baker. And yeah, I paint as well. Before started painting faces, I used to paint canvases.
Is there anything you can't do?
I can't hunt a lion.
You're hunting our hearts, Manisha.
Thank you.
So that's, I guess, more than enough. So from being an engineer to an entrepreneur to a makeup artist on a global level, this is fantastic. What a journey. And
Thank you.
Kudos to you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you once again for joining us today. And that's PB Spotlight for you. So stay tuned for more updates.